What's this? A super top secret Virtual Boy envelope? What could be inside? We're gonna find out soon enough, as it ties directly into 4 things I want the Virtual Boy app on Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2 to do. But to help us out, Mario, can you get off the Virtual Boy? My word, you kiss your mama with that mouth? Well, I guess we're on our own. Now, even though I made a video a few weeks ago about how you probably won't need a Virtual Boy accessory to play these games on a Switch or Switch 2, despite what Nintendo says,
almost. There are a few provisos, a couple of quid pro quos.
I still think it's super cool and kind of amazing that these accessories exist at all, as they're undoubtedly the best way to authentically experience these games for the first time in 30 years. But, for as great as those accessories and the app itself appear to be so far, there are still some things Nintendo can do to take it to the next level. And let's start with what might sound like a weird one, being it absolutely needs to support the Nintendo 64 controller. And that's because the Virtual Boy accessories don't come with a Virtual Boy controller, and as it turns out, the N64 one is the next closest thing. And that's because the Virtual Boy controller was surprisingly revolutionary for its time. Not only did it have dual triggers on the back, as you can see here, but it also had what was effectively dual analog control. Now granted, these are D-pads, meaning they're not analog at all, but they basically were the predecessors to the modern dual analog controller, which is super freaking cool, and they did this because of the third dimension. Now we could fully control, every aspect of your character in 3D. Now as it turns out, most games didn't really fully take advantage of what the setup allows, but some of them do, kind of like Teleroboxer, where each D-pad corresponded to one of your arms. So that brings up the question, how in the hell are you going to use the second control pad? It doesn't exist on any other controller, right? Well, of course, the obvious solution is to just use a right control stick instead. After all, they replaced D-pads originally, why wouldn't that work here as well? And it probably will be fine in most cases. But here's the thing, if you played old school games, you know that nothing quite compares to a classic D-pad. It feels more responsive, it has those discrete movements, and that goes especially for games that are making rapid use of them, such as, again, Teleroboxer, where you want that discrete concrete movement. And that's when something occurred to me, because what is a D-pad but basically 4 buttons in one? Well, you add that to A and B and you have a 6-button layout right here. Now what's the only other controller Nintendo's made that has a 6-button layout? That's right, I'm talking the N64 controller. What I'm saying is the C buttons could be the perfect replacement for the right D-pad. See the D-pad on the left here, the D-pad on the right, then A and B just like on the Virtual Boy. You even have L and R here to act as the triggers on the original controller. It is practically perfect. The only slight issue you run into is the select button not being here, but you can just use like ZL or something instead. So really not that big of a deal. And that's why I really hope that the app officially acknowledges this controller. Now thankfully, even if the app doesn't officially recognize this controller, we already know that you can remap buttons individually, meaning this controller should still work. It just might be a bit of a pain to set up. Item number 2 is that we need more games. Now granted, there were only ever 22 released all around the world, but so far we only know of 14 officially released titles coming to the Virtual Boy service. But we're missing some pretty notable ones, like the Bomberman spin-off Panic Bomber and Nestor's Funky Bowling, which I also own, I just don't know where the cartridge is right now. Nestor's Funky Bowling is an especially odd omission considering Nestor was Nintendo Power's mascot back in the day. Those aside, I have to give Nintendo a shout out for doing something really cool, and that's releasing 2 canceled Virtual Boy games for the first time ever, being D-Hoppers and Zero Racers, an F-Zero spin-off. But that makes me wonder, could there be even more? After all, we know that there was a version of Mario Land in development for the Virtual Boy, and it looked pretty unique. Even though it was never complete and reportedly not even playable at trade shows, if any version of it exists, it'd be amazing to play it on this service. And that goes for any other games that may have been canceled too. The third thing the Virtual Boy needs, ironically, is a 2D mode. That way you can play it on your TV or in handheld mode without needing the headset at all. We know it's possible thanks to the footage from the trailers themselves, so why not make that an option for everyone? Literally, all they have to do is display just one of the 2D images they already have for the entire screen, which again, we already know they have the capability to do. Look, I get if you want to sell your headsets early on and everything, but you absolutely need to add a 2D option for the TV or handheld mode later down the line. And that brings us to my 4th and final point. But first, should we finally see what's inside this top secret Virtual Boy envelope? I think we should, huh? Here it is, here we go. What could it be? A pair of Virtual Boy branded 3D glasses. Whoa, everything's so 3D right now. Alright, so here's the deal. These came for free as part of your Nintendo Power subscription for the Virtual Boy issue of the magazine. And it was kind of amazing because it let you get like a sneak peek of how the Virtual Boy worked, kind of, in which things on the pages or even the cover itself would appear to pop off the screen. Kind of like the Virtual Boy itself. I'm looking at it on my screen right now and I can see it popping off the pages. That also goes for things like actual Virtual Boy images or the text itself. It was actually a super cool way of promoting the idea of Virtual Boy itself. itself. Now, how it actually worked in simple terms is that each lens would pull out either the red or the blue color, and then your brain would conjoin it into one, making it appear to be 3D. And that got me thinking, is there a chance Nintendo could actually do the same thing with playing Virtual Boy on your TV, using glasses such as this? Now, even though these only work with the red and blue color scheme, the Virtual Boy is already halfway there, being red and black. And thanks to the recent trailer in which we know you can change the colors of the app itself, I feel like Nintendo's already most of the way there, and they can just separate the images into a red one and a blue one, so you can play in 3D on your TV using glasses like this. That would be kind of the coolest thing ever, being able to play Virtual Boy on your giant TV in 3D without needing to stick your head into a tiny little device. Now granted, I'm no 3D expert, so maybe there's something I'm missing here and it wouldn't actually work as I'm thinking it would. And there's also the very extremely likely possibility Nintendo would never do this in the first place. I think it'd be pretty cool though, and I would love to see that happen. So there you have it, my 4 ideas for how the Virtual Boy app could be even better. But what do you think? Am I onto something, or am I in crazy town at this point? Let me know in the comments below, and while you're down there, click the subscribe button, ring the bell, and make sure to check out my previous Virtual Boy video if you missed it, as well as my ongoing Mario movie analysis series, in which I have many more parts coming up. It's a lot of fun. So with that, thanks for watching everyone, and we'll catch you later. Bye.